Hey guys, welcome to the video. MK3 here. Three things. One, we're going to be doing something different with the subtitles. Now I'm going to have them be optional because through reading some of the comments, I've seen there's on both sides. Some of you enjoy the subtitles, but some of you find them distracting. And a lot of you have reminded me that I totally forgot. YouTube has transcripts with optional subtitles. So now instead of me writing out all the subtitles and having them into the video, I'm going to include them into the transcripts for YouTube. So now for those of you that want the subtitles on, you guys can go into the video options at the bottom right, go to captions and enable them. And it should be accurate to how I had it in my previous video. And for those of you that don't like the subtitles, you guys can enjoy the video without seeing them pop up and distract you guys. Number two, I have an audio adjustment made to my mic where I turned off some of the suppressions on noise. This may make it so you guys can hear me a little bit more clearly. Please let me know if that's the case. My mic does sound better and if you guys can hear me better than my previous videos. So that way I know that these settings are better than the ones I had before. And three, we're going to have older series coming back where instead of me focusing on just the broken characters and the most overpowered characters, we're going to go to the opposite side of the coin where now we're going to be talking about some of the underpowered characters that are very bad compared to the strong characters in the game. Now, to get into today's video, we're going to be discussing Sheeva, and regarding both games, I have Sheeva in both MK3 and UMK3 as the worst overall character to win with. Now, when I say Sheeva's low tier and the worst in the game, I don't mean it's impossible to beat other people using better characters with her. If you play right with Sheeva and they're making mistakes and you're capitalizing that and you're just on point that day, then yes, it is possible for you to beat people who are playing better characters while you're using the lower tier character. I have Sheeva ranked the lowest in the game, not because she's impossible to win with, but because compared to everybody else, you have to work a little bit harder to win with her. So to get started, let's go through her special moves. So Sheeva has a smaller special move list than some characters. She only has 3 special moves. One of them is a projectile attack, which is on the laggier side like this, the fireball. This move is minus on hit. As you can see, Sub-Zero jumps up quicker than Sheeva. So this is one of the laggier slow fireballs. It does a decent amount of damage. The move you'll occasionally see Sheeva's use, not really to zone, but every once in a while neutral, they'll throw one out. The main part where you see this move is if they anti or high punch you, they'll go into their fireball, because that's a basic combo. The fireball also isn't too safe on block because it's one of the laggier projectiles in the game, so do keep that noted. You have to be very careful with how you use it, because if they jump it, they can kill you, and if they duck it, a lot of characters will be able to punish you, like Cabal, for example, is going to just spin you. Let's get into Sheeva's 2 next special moves, which are both unblockable attacks. One of them being the ground stomp. This move is a reasonably fast unblockable attack that hits anywhere on the screen as long as your opponent has their feet touching the ground. The thing about this move is it is minus on hit, so your opponent will move first before Sheeva, and it does a solid chunk of damage. But the thing to note on this move is it does put her airborne, so you can do things like maybe get around a sweep quickly. Like if your opponent goes to do a sweep, opponent does like a fireball, like a Liu Kang low fireball, you can probably go over it and then counter him with that. So it has its niche uses where you can apply it, but overall you're gonna have to be very careful where you use this move. You're gonna have to use it very sparingly, because one of the things about our ground stomp is if your opponent evades it in any way or jumps in the air, she has extra recovery on it. So if they happen to be jumping or teleporting or being in the air doing something, there's a good chance they're going to be going into a punish and full comboing you for doing that. So her ground stomp is, I'd say, a below average move. It's okay to use, you just have to be very careful about it. And the main way you'll see people use it is when they go for her 4-hit combo launching string pop-up, they'll do a roundhouse into the unblockable, and this is guaranteed. That's all full combo. So if you time it right, they can't jump out, and it'll do, I believe it does 1% more than her 7-hit string. Her 7-hit string does a lot of damage. It's one of the, it's probably maybe the highest damaging string in the game without any follows. That's 42%, it's a lot. So if you make mistakes against Sheeva, like if you're Cabal and you're just doing random spins against her, or if you're playing Sub-Zero, you're doing YOLO slides, probably not a good choice, because then you're giving opportunity for Sheeva to get a lot of damage on the table. So against Sheeva, you want to make her work for her damage. You don't want to just be risky and throw out random specials, because she can essentially do 2 of these strings as punishes and, you know, kill you. She does a lot of good damage. But to go back to her 4-hit launcher string, you mainly see her ground stomp used after that as a full combo. I know the screen it says 34%, but it doesn't factor in the damage from the ground pound, it being guaranteed, so it actually does more than that. Now let's get into Sheeva's final special move, which is her iconic teleport stomp. This move, she'll teleport off the screen, come down, and stomp you, and like her other two moves, they're minus on hit, which means you have to be mindful that your opponent will move quicker before you do. So if you're up against a Cabal or whatever, don't try to move immediately after that, because if he decides to spin and you try to run up or jump, he's going to catch you with it, and then you're going to eat a combo. Now the thing about this move is, it's a okay move, similar to ground stomp. You got to use it sparingly. You're not going to be playing Sheeva and then randomly doing this like every 3 seconds, right? Because if they read it, all they have to do is run forward, and once they evade it, because the hitbox on it is a little narrow, they're going to be able to full combo punish you, because the recovery on whiff is not too good. You're going to be definitely stuck in a bit of lag, and they're going to have an opportunity to combo you. Now, in a similar way to her ground stomp, you can apply her teleport stomp in scenarios where against many characters it's guaranteed damage. So for example, if you hit your opponent with a jump kick, if you time it, you can do a jump kick into a teleport stomp, and they won't be able to get up in time and run or get out of the way to avoid that. So in a way, this is kind of like a combo, a true combo for Sheeva. So that you're looking at, if you get hit by a jump kick, you're taking almost 40% just for that. Now, of course, some characters will be able to teleport out of the way. Some characters like Cabal will probably be able to spin you, and some other characters may have a unique way to escape. But for a lot of characters, doing something like a jump kick into a well-timed teleport, this is guaranteed. You can also apply this after Sheeva throwing you, where she will run up and then time a teleport stop, and if you do this properly, it's the same scenario as her jump kick, where this is a guaranteed situation on a lot of characters. They're not going to be able to escape this if you time it perfectly, because you're going to be landing on them right when they have the opportunity to jump or move out of the way. So in a way, it's like a true combo. Now, even though Sheeva's the worst in the game, doesn't mean she has nothing going for her or any good tools, right? As you saw, her damage is pretty good. She's doing probably the highest damage on grounded combo off of a string, and if you do her other 4-hit launcher, she can get 43%. Sheeva has one of the best throws in the game. I want to say it's the second best throw in the game out of all characters. A lot of characters would kill to have a throw like this, where, you know, it's a ground bounce on the opponent and they get a combo follow-up. The thing with Sheeva is you can do something simple like a high kick after. So off a simple combo like this, you're taking 35%. And as I mentioned before, when you throw your opponent, you can time and go into a teleport stomp, which is 40% or more, which is a lot of damage off a throw. And in the corner, she's able to do a simple combo like this. So if you catch your opponent with a throw in the corner, you're taking about 50%. And remember, you can always opt to go for, you know, ender into teleport stomp. If you do that, you'll probably get closer to 50 off that because of the non-added scaling on that. So her teleport stomp is not an amazing move, but it has its uses similar to ground stomp, where you could sneak it in. I guess you could try to sneak it in during jab pressure. If you're in the heat of the moment, you can it'll probably catch people occasionally, but you have to be very careful for it, because if they're looking for it, they will blow you up. And when Sheeva makes a mistake on her special moves, she's always going to be combo launched, right? It's not like a Nightwolf situation where Nightwolf's going to be using a shoulder, you read it, block it, and then, you know, he can be safe. So Sheeva, definitely on the riskier side of things. Aside from her having the second best throw in the game, she also has good range on a lot of her normals. Because she's so tall, she has more reach than other characters, so her high kick and low kick have a lot more range than other people. She also has good range on her crouching low kick, and her jabs are not bad. She has priority on them. She probably has the best high punch in the game with priority, and because of how tall she is, she can reach people easier when going to anti-high punch, because you can see how she towers over Sub-Zero. Now, there are negatives associated with this, right? Her being such a big, tall character means she's more susceptible to getting hit by other characters and clipped by attacks. Like, a lot of characters can do instant jump punches or instant jump kicks and easily clip Sheeva, and she's just vulnerable to getting hit by hitboxes that normally would have problems hitting other characters. Another thing are some of her matchups are very bad. For example, you're going up against Cabal. Cabal doesn't even have to do perfectly framed ensnare fireballs to hit you as Sheeva, because Sheeva is so tall and big that Cabal can do a badly timed ensnare fireball and it will still clip you as Sheeva because of how tall you are. So Sheeva, her being the worst in the game, is not mainly only because of her tools. Yes, she has a lot of underwhelming stuff compared to other characters, but she also has some of her strengths, like a really good throw, a solid jump kick, good range on her normals, a good high punch jab, high damage at ground combos. She's just a lot laggier and a bit unsafe compared to other characters. She's very easy to suffocate and pressure and corner trap with jabs, She's vulnerable to getting hit by a lot of hitboxes and other attacks that normally would whiff or have issues connecting on other characters. So I have her ranked overall as the worst character in the game, not because you can't win with her, just because if you're going to play her over other characters, just keep in mind that you're going to have to work a little bit harder than other people. When people know the Sheeva matchup, they're not going to be doing things like YOLO slides on Sub-Zero or jumping at Sheeva for no reason, because she has some of the better anti-airs. She has one of the best anti-air high punch jabs and one of the best anti-air high kicks in the game. So when you're playing against people that understand the matchup, they're going to make it harder for you to get damage and openings on the table. They're going to make you work as Sheeva to get combo opportunities on them. With that said, I'm going to close the video out here, guys. I hope you enjoyed this take on Sheeva and why I feel she's the worst character. Let me know if you guys also enjoy learning about some of the very weak characters and characters that are underpowered instead of only the broken ones. With that said, thank you guys so much for watching this, and I'll see you guys in the next video.